Now, this is a little bit different video, and it's an important video. You might want to watch to the end because it's really more on a personal level. And I really touched upon this yesterday when I was making a video, and I was thinking, the difference when I was living with my wife, and when, I was married for 25 years, and my wife succumbed to alcohol use disorder about 5 years ago. And there was a lot of toxicity and drama. I mean, there was really one event after another. I mean, she drove through the front of our house. She had 4 DUIs, and constantly police and first responders were at our house all the time. And there was always this just drama, constant drama. There was always a feeling of intense insecurity of what was going to happen next. You never knew what you were coming home to. And it was just really hell to live in. And I think that's been expressed through hundreds of videos. But it's not really even about that. It's really about understanding what the family goes through and to allow the alcoholic to understand what they do to their family, recovering and alcoholics who are active to understand and have a reality of what they put their loved ones through. But this video is not really about that. I'm going to continue. And this is really about the incredible contrast between living with someone when alcohol is really the focus, as opposed to living with someone where there is no alcohol. The life is completely void of alcohol, which is my current relationship. And I met somebody about 6 months after my wife passed away. I mean, I traveled for a while, and I actually ended up joining a couple dating services, which is always kind of very different. And I was 58 at that point, and it's something you haven't had to deal with since you're in your 20s, the dating world. And it's very different when you're not a kid anymore. But I met somebody. And it was really wonderful. It's really funny because it's the kind of person you never would see yourself pictured with. And I have pictures of her, on the page. You can find them. But it's nice because there's no alcohol involved. She doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, never has, never will. It's just not part of her culture or who she is. And as a result, there's zero drama. There are zero arguments. There are zero problems. There's really no issues. And to be finally in a mature relationship where you care about each other and you don't have to worry about any of that, any of the drama. You don't have to worry about what it's going to be like when you get home, and there's no surprises. And you can build from that. And I really wish that for really anybody who's going through this, if they have had to go through a divorce because of the alcoholic. And the point of this is that there is life after this disease. There's life after this. I'm a living example of that. But you have to take and if as a survivor, I'm going to continue, there's also other steps that you really need to do. You're really just like the alcoholic. You need to exercise. I mean, I lift weights a lot. I mean, I walk somewhere between 35 and 40 miles a week. I'm very active. I lift weights 3 to 4 times a week. A lot of heavy weights. You can only see me from here to here, but believe it. And I read, I write. I mean, I have a second book I'm going to put out later, and probably in 2026. You have to be creative. You have to be exercise. And you have to make yourself a priority. If you're in a relationship right now and there's an alcoholic in your family, alcoholic as your spouse, you need to have a life outside. I think part of the reasons why I stayed with Amanda, number one, she wasn't with us a lot of the time because she was either in a rehab, a hospital, and a psych ward, or she was incarcerated. The last few years, she was only with my son and myself for about 6 months of the year. And on top of that, I mean, I did have, a life outside outside our marriage. Absolutely. I mean, I ran a business. I had to take care of our son. I worked out a lot, and I did write and read. I read a lot of books. It's important, and have friends. I mean, I would go on vacations by myself. Sometimes you have to do that in a marriage. Quite often, my son and I would put Amanda in a rehab, and we'd go visit my family. It was easier that way. That sounds cruel to some who don't understand, but these are the things that you have to do. And if you're in this situation, I hope these types of things resonate with you. And really, I talk about this because it's important to give other people direction, because I've been down this road. And everybody, so many people ask me, did you go to Al-Anon? Well, no, my son and I didn't. He didn't really want counseling because, we had each other. He had me. I teach Al-Anon principles in my coaching program and really on this page quite a bit. And you have to understand, as a family member or as a spouse, you didn't create the alcoholic's problem and you're not going to solve it. The only person who can is them. You can support them, but you're not going to change them. That has to come from them. And you have to understand your role in the alcoholic's life. That's just step one. And you have to understand that. But you have to move on. And the whole point of it is there is life after alcohol. After having someone with an extreme case of alcohol use disorder, believe me, there is life. And there is life at the end of the tunnel. The thing is about hard times and good times, neither last. So realize if you're going through a really atrocious time, that time isn't going to last. And the good times are always right around the corner. You just have to create them and wait for them and make them. And you can. I believe in you. Thanks for listening. And again, the memoir is called Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. There's a lot of good times because, as much as I go over, Amanda's situation, we're married for 25 years, but there was definitely far more good times than there were bad times. It's just the bad times are what's ended in the result of her passing. Also, I go live, often on Monday through Friday, right around 6 o'clock on this channel. And I have the Facebook group. It's called Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. And the coaching program. Again, the links are all right on this page. In the link tree, you can set up a breakthrough call with me. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour. We do a deep dive into what's going on with you and your family. The call is free. The course is definitely not. But I'm looking for people who want to change their lives and the lives of their family. And again, thanks so much for listening.